Nice little flick there to extra cover. It's good to see the sentence team doing well here. And here comes Lloyd.
Yeah, it's great to be here back at Moosa Stadium in Houston. Of course, this is a beautiful day, and the weather is fantastic for cricket or any other activity outdoors, as a matter of fact. Today we're playing the American College Cricket All-Stars 2021 version, a slight difference from what we usually do, USA versus Canada. And when we started to put this together, Canada still had a lot of restrictions, more difficult for teams to come down from there. We do have two players from Canada down here right now. A nice drive there, and that's Rahul Gorajala, and that's 4 runs as the umpire signals there. Rahul, of course, is one of the top all-rounders in American college cricket the last few years. The bowler is the very tall Danya Dave, and he actually is from Toronto, University of Guelph, and he he's wearing a shirt that says Kumar. We'll figure this out because it does look like Danya Dave. And I'm happy to have David Sentence with me on the commentary, and you'll be hearing David doing his analysis and giving you tidbits on the history of this wonderful game. So the teams, we named them Joda and Sentence 11, mainly because we had to have names for these teams rather than there being any great difference. They're both American college cricket teams, players from American college cricket, and we'd be happy to see great performances on both teams. The left arm pacer, and this one is down the leg side, swing by the batsman, and that'll be signal wide. And David, great to be back in Houston.
It is. I mean, I was just commenting earlier about the tape ball cricket, and now we've got the good hard ball cricket back, and it's great to be in a beautiful stadium with the commentary facilities. Score now moved on to 7 for 1. So we had a wicket in the first ball of the over while we're getting organised here. Changing sides here on the release of the ball after that wide. Little adjustment by the bowler. And he comes off a 10-yard pace. Adjustment by the bowler. Again, still wide. Another wide signal. So he's having trouble with his line at the moment. And his run-up, actually. He hesitated a few delivery strides there. He's got to get his rhythm yet. Again, still hesitating. That one he pitches up a little bit. Gets that one outside the off stump. Aditya pick up there. Aditya just absolutely lathered in sunscreen, which is smart because over the years that sun damage piles up and turns into cancer if you're not careful. So remember your sunscreen. I speak from personal experience. So the University of Toronto bowler in
Guelph.
left hand. Oh, Guelph, sorry. Yeah. Guelph, a home of cricket in Canada since 1880s. Waterloo, Toronto, all those Canadian towns played a lot of cricket with starting off in many cases the British Army garrisons. In comes the man from Guelph. excellent ball. Pops it right on the off stump, right on a length, and got the line. So took him about 5 balls, but we're there now. So score moves on to 8-1. Sentence team. Rahul on 6 and Aditya still to score. Aditya with the ball now, just checking out the field. Nice little panoramic view here. The outfield is just gorgeous. It drains very quickly. There's quite a lot of rain in Houston now and again. Not for long, but... And the pitch just like a Trinidadian West Indian pitch. Just got that sheen on it that you get from extra rolling and incorporating a little bit of grass in the surface there. So even though it's a grass wicket, it's actually more like a clay wicket. But the outfield is just, as you can see, dedicated to cricket. Nice little push off on the offside there. Pick up a single. Score moves on to 9-1. So a scoring rate of 4 and over, 20 over game. Taking a leg side guard. That's a nice piece of wood he's got there with a very thick bat, which is common with today's T20 cricket. So Aditya's off the mark now. Both phase 6 balls. And here's Lloyd to take over.
So, nice looking pitch, outfield and everything. I mean, as a matter of fact, it looks gorgeous. To say nice is putting it mildly. Broad skies here with tufts of cloud, of course, but nothing in the form of a threatening type. Here comes the bowler, and this one's outside the off stump going away, and he's caught. Yes, he did get an edge there. Very good ball there, David.
Yeah, he actually jammed it in a little bit more and moved it wide and tempted the batsman to get a thin edge there. So it was a good piece of bowling and came off his usual line and length. So it was a variety that got that wicket.
Well, that was Danya, Dave, from University of Guelph in Canada. And, yeah, he's a very big guy. He's 6'3", and that was a beautiful ball, just off of usual line. Yes, outside the off stump, going away, getting the edge. And that's a breakthrough, another breakthrough there, really. Into second wicket down, only 9 runs on the board.
Yeah, we're in trouble. Sentence team's in trouble.
Ah, yes, that is correct. That is your team. So David may be sounding sad as we go forward here.
I think I've been set up here.
Well, to tell you the truth, on your team, there's Norman Zafar, who's actually played for Canada.
Okay.
He will be opening the bowling. So,
good.
No, there was no setup. You've got a pretty good team as well. And the batsmen are having a chat there. They'll want to consolidate here, whilst at the same time, of course, in T20 cricket, there's not a lot of time to be just fiddling around. You want to keep the board moving. So it's Adi and Saurabh Joshi from University of Pittsburgh. And he's a very accomplished all-rounder, been scoring runs and taking wickets in the Pittsburgh area for the last few years, and he actually played significant cricket in India. He played for Mumbai at the same time that Saurabh Netravalkar, the current USA ODI captain, was playing.
Oh, really?
And yes, here comes Danya. Danya, right arm. Oh, beautiful ball on the block hole practically there, but nicely clipped. And they get a single.
Aditya congratulating his batsman there.
I didn't quite see what happened there, but he got out.
Yeah, he flicked it and was caught.
Ah, okay.
To 2 wickets in that over. That's a real breakthrough over.
That is amazing.
Sentences are really in trouble now.
By the way, I didn't see that, which is ironic considering I got these new glasses 2 days ago.
Well, it was just outside of the picture range, so it was picked up there mid-wicket.
Yeah, he angled that one in the block hole, and at first I thought the batsman did well to get it away. He did get it away, but it was a catch and taken at a shortish mid-wicket there. So
devastating over.
Devastating over from Danya Dave, the tall Canadian bowler from the University of Guelph, right arm, and certainly making an impact here. And one of the things, I was having a chat with a couple of the guys last night as they were in the car, picking them up from the airport, is that a lot of our players have gotten attention, which has then propelled them, catapulted them into the Canadian team, for example.
Right.
So Norman Zafar is the latest of those players. And now Danya Dave is looking so good already that no doubt this will be good for him in his cricket career in Canada.
Absolutely. And yet he gets to play in the sunshine down in Texas while it's probably snowing up north.
Well, certainly, yeah, the temperatures must be dropping. I know it's snowing in Alberta.
Right.
He's not from Alberta, but that's further north in Canada, because I happen to have a friend who moved there recently. So posting videos of the snow coming down, her first snow and that kind of stuff. It's always great to see when people experience for the first time things like that, you know. Here comes, this is Danya gave nice ball just on or about the left-hander's off stump, and he plays it out into the offside. So Danya looks pretty good.
He looks very good, yeah. Strong and fit.
And certainly getting the results. 2 wickets there already in this first over. And Emmanuel Sitouran and Aditya Bhardwaj will look to consolidate. Aditya on the shirt is Adi.
Right on the wicket there.
So this camera angle is from the far end, behind the bowler. And an amazing over there by Danya Dave.
Yeah, we're 9 for 3. Devastating.
From Canada. And another Canadian player making his impact in American college cricket. As I mentioned earlier, we'll see Norman Zafar in action later.
Can you tell us a little bit about Canadian cricket, Lloyd?
Canadian cricket goes back to when the origins also took place in the U.S. You know, it's hundreds of years old. I don't suppose that's what you wanted to know about Canadian cricket.
I was thinking more about the Canadian college cricket, which you got going.
And Upper Canada is where many of the players came from that played in that first match in 1844 in New York City, where I'm from. And that's the very first sporting event ever in the world between two countries. As I like to point out, it's the first time young men of two different countries battled on a playing field instead of a battlefield. So it's of momentous significance in world history, even though it's largely unheralded. So I try to do my little bit in American college cricket to remind people of that and to herald the, what that meant. Here comes, this is a wild ball outside the off stump, and no surprise, it's called a wide by the umpire. And so batting right now and trying to fix the damage caused by the Jody 11 bowlers are Sitouran and Adi. The bowler is number 26, Sachdeva. Here he comes, right arm, medium pace. Again, a wildish one, but that one came back in a bit. So if you can get that more online, it'll be good, and they get a couple of runs, the batsmen. Yeah, so Canadian college cricket was started in 2015 by Hassan Mirza and Obad Earl, both of Ryerson. And these had been two leaders who had come up over the years in college cricket, in American college cricket, basically. And they asked me, if it was okay if they went ahead and started Canadian college cricket. We had a good chat about it, and they did launch it. And we launched it with the very first All-Star Series, American College Cricket USA versus Canada All-Star Series in Toronto, which happened to be the first time that Canadian college cricket came out into the public. And that in turn helped tremendously, got the attention around Canada. And there's a nice shot. They'll get a single. We'll talk more about that as we watch the process, the game here, David.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we've got to get a partnership going here and stabilize the innings as best as possible. We've got 4 runs in the partnership so far, so that's beginning to dig out the bowling, but the batsmen are a little behind the curve at the moment, and that can often happen. But it has actually had a full season of batting, so it may be a new wicket for them, getting used to that. And we are playing several games, aren't we? So they'll
well, on the positive side, there's a left-hander and a right-hander that can affect the bowlers a bit. Here comes the left-hander, plays a nice defensive shot there. And that left-hander is Citroen. Citroen is also a left-arm spinner. And he's one of the many players who are hoping to play for USA, especially now that USA is playing much more cricket and has achieved the ODI level. Here comes Sachdeva, right arm around the wicket. Oh, nice ball coming back into the batsman from across the line too, and hitting him and couldn't get it away, David. Nice ball.
Yeah.
So Citroen will be happy if he can make his mark this weekend. Sachdeva once more running up in right arm. Good length, perfect ball, no run, another dot ball.
It's very hard to get away. He's angling that ball into the batsman and he's having a hard time getting outside the line of it.
So Sachdeva once more, right arm. Oh, that one was slightly offline, and Citroen struck that beautifully into the covers, fielded slightly by a dive-in fielder, and he didn't quite get it fully, and so it ran down a bit more, and they got a couple of runs.
Yeah, the batsmen chatting to each other, giving themselves a little boost in the middle there.
Well, they need it, but so far so good in this over. They're now at 17 for 3 from 9 for 3, so might seem like a small victory, but it is something here in the stage that this innings is in. And we see Hussain waiting in the wings. Hussain Bashir, of course, last time he played here, he was a fast bowler. He's now playing as a batsman. Another dot ball there. But of course, these batsmen want to be a bit cautious because of how many wickets have been lost by the Sentinels team, while still trying to get the score rolling over. So I think they did a pretty good job of that in the previous over, David.
Yeah, that was a good start. It would be nice to see this go to 100 with 3 wickets.
I'm sure it would. Your name is on it.
Yeah. This is a typical sentence team right now.
Seems as though they're
looking for the batsman to perform.
Seems as though they're under a sentence of some kind.
They got a blast out of that judge's booth.
So basically, the reason behind the naming of the teams, one is named Joe the 11, the other Sentence 11, is that since these are all American college cricket players, as we watch Daniel coming in, right arm, nice ball, pitched well, and another dot ball, the bowler feeling himself. We had to have names for the teams, and we figured we'd name them after myself and David, so we could use those names again in the future if we had to do this version of the All-Star Weekend again, which we might very well do, because even though we'll still get back to doing our USA versus Canada, we may do this on occasion as well. This one's outside the off stump, played nicely by the right-handed Addy, but straight to a fielder.
Actually, Lloyd, I think it's a great format because a lot of interesting cricket comes out of unexpected short games. You know, when the Australians came and played in 1999, they played a couple of extra games, and they were the most interesting because the players knew each other by that time, and they learned from each other, of course, in opposition.
Yeah, well, our guys also relish the opportunity to get together. Friendships are developed, even more so than when we have our tournaments, when you don't get that much time with members of opposing teams.
Yeah.
But this gives them an opportunity to hang out a bit together, maybe have dinner, and play together or against in close environment.
Yeah, a lot of bonding goes on in cricket. I found that with the over 60s we just had in Los Angeles. It was amazing.
Yeah, at some point, I may participate, but I have to,
well, over 70s I'm starting next year, all right?
Well, I haven't even qualified for the over 50 yet, so. That's my public reasons.
I need to get you running on the outfield and keep you young.
So, brilliant sunshine, and Danya, who was struck twice, coming into Addy, right arm. Oh, nicely pitched there, David.
Beautiful piece of bowling. Yeah, the batsmen had got their work cut out.
Yeah, it's like when I watch Saurabh Netravalkar as an example bowling. It's fascinating to watch him drop that ball practically on a dime, and that's what the same kind of feeling you get when you see a bowler put it like perfectly.
Yeah. Well, at this level, there are 6 consistent balls. The average bowler is lucky to get 3 really good balls in and over, and that's the difference. And these chaps are putting it on the dime six times and over.
So that's pretty good over for the Joda team.
Yeah.
Just a runoff of that. So Daniel is now taking 2 wickets for 3 runs, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, quick breakthrough by him. Scored 18 for 3, so we need this partnership to continue on the batting front.
Do you have any sense at this point, still early, as to what the wicket is doing, if anything unusual, or if it's any thoughts on that?
The wicket actually is playing very true. It's the quality of the bowling that's doing the damage. It's right on a length, and the pitch is fast, so it's forcing the batsmen to rush their shots a bit. And I think that's new to them because most of them have been playing on AstroTurf. A ball like that got a wicket last time, wide of the off stump, and tempts the batsman. So unfortunately, didn't get a edge on that one. The batsmen digging deep here to try and get themselves out of this hole.
Well, since we were here last, Saki has continued to improve the stadium, and one addition is the same very broadcast booth that we're broadcasting from, which is a big difference from being on top of the side screen in the blazing sun.
Oh, that first time, 2014, I think. Ooh, that was close.
2016, when we did Sony, we broadcasted from here on Sony. It was the 2016 Southwest Championship. We played here before, so you were here before that.
Right.
We played the Southwest in 2014 and 2015, but 2016 was when we broadcast from Sony.
Oh,
And
lovely shot.
This one is pulled around nicely, but there's a man at backward point, fields it nicely too. And they get a single, quick single, good run in. They chose to go for that run and decisively and took it, even though it was going fast straight to the fielder. And of course, being fast, he didn't, as well as he fielded, he didn't catch it cleanly.
Right.
So they were able to get that run safely as well. And that's the virtue of going, looking for singles, looking for runs quickly. Even when the ball is going to a fielder, you can force even that small error.
Yeah.
And that's what can give you runs, and sometimes more than just a single. So next to Broward Stadium, this is of course the best in the country, and it looks the part. As here comes Vamsi, right arm. Now, one of the things in putting these two teams together is that there are quite a number of medium pacers and pace bowlers, because of course you want that in T20 cricket, and they're also, of course, spinners. But you will see that they have quite a few guys who can bowl at least a medium pace and bowl well. That one seems to be a slow ball, nicely fielded by the diamond fielder to his right. And
Sanchez is an interesting story. He's out of the West Coast, isn't he? San Diego.
who?
Sanchez, the bowler.
Vamsi?
Yeah.
Vamsi is, but that's a different Vamsi. There are two Vamsis on the team.
That's why I figured I'd cross-check with you.
Yeah. I'm not sure which one of the Vamsis this is, because both have P as their last name, the initial. I'm just guessing this is the other one, because the Vamsi from the West Coast, from Fresno State, is pretty tall.
One of them's the one I was talking to is from San Diego, and he's wearing USA pants. So I thought, because he just got off doing a week with the US team, and the San Diego team just won the league in the SCCA.
No, you're talking about Jaideep Reddy.
Uh-huh.
Jaideep Reddy lives in San Diego, and he actually played for or was captain of one of the West Coast teams.
Yeah, that's San Diego then.
He's originally from Massachusetts,
Ah,
and when he first played American college cricket back in 2009, he was at the University of Massachusetts.
right. All these American college cricket players have got very good jobs, Lloyd, right?
Oh, absolutely, because education is paramount, and they all have, very good degrees, usually in STEM fields.
Right.
So you're not talking about your liberal arts degree. You're talking about STEM fields, and so
Yeah.
they're able to get into good engineering, tech, and so on, professional jobs. And most of them, once they graduate, they go on for their masters as well. So yes, highly educated, and it's one of the things that we're happy to highlight in the cricket world, where education is supposed to be big, because that's the future of the game. The game cannot go on in the old format where you came out of high school. And I'll continue that thought in a minute.
Coming into the left-hander now. Beautiful length, well played. So Manuel on 3 and a ditcher on 10. Total score 23 for 3. Run rate still at just under 4 at 3.83. So the Sentence team having to dig out here, trying to build up a partnership after loss of 3 quick wickets. Get some excellent bowling. That one's a bit uppish. Manages to pierce the outfielder. Going to get a couple of valuable runs at this stage. The outfield is just almost like a golf putting green. And it has that sort of convex feel to it that you get on the downs of England too. When you hit the ball, it runs a long way, whereas most of these non-dedicated fields don't have that. They have long grass, and it's hard to get a boundary, especially with your ground shots. Here again, up in again. Slam, and that's a lovely attempted hook shot, but mishit, so doesn't quite grab a hold of it. Right idea though. So Emmanuel on 5 and a ditcher on 10. So we're beginning to build a partnership here. They've faced almost 30 balls.
So here we are. It's Danya.
Yeah.
LBW. So that's his. That should be his 3rd wicket. He can. He must be very happy. He actually was selected for the Canadian College Cricket All-Stars team to play March 2020 in Florida. So he came down. He didn't come with a team to play in the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
He came as just for the all-star matches.
Right.
And because of COVID, we only got one of those matches. So that was a disappointing time for him.
Yeah.
So this was a great opportunity for him to come and have a, show his stuff and have a good time. And boy, is he doing it.
He's giving my team a hard time. 3 wickets there. They were trying to build a partnership until that LBW, which was an excellent piece of bowling.
Yeah, they weren't doing too badly at all. They had 16 runs, and the way how they were getting it was good. They were getting twos and singles and so on, and looked comfortable.
Yeah, Ditcher's still there on 10, but it's the accuracy of the bowling and the length of it is creating fits on the Sentence side.
Yeah. So Abdul Quram is the incoming batsman. He's the captain of the Sentence team, joining the very young Aditya. And Abdul actually started with George Washington University, became club president and captain for a few years while he was there, which is rare because often there's turnover each year, different captain, different club president.
Right.
But he remained as both for about 4 years as undergrad. Then he graduated and is now in med school in Virginia. Fishing outside the off stump. And so he's in med school right now, and he's been quite a leader over the years. So it's one reason for him to be captain of this team.
So he's had a lot of continuity in terms of American college cricket.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And are they allowed to play the 4 years? Is it sort of NCAA rules, or
no?
How do you do
definitely not. We have a lot of flexibility, so you can play as many years as you're in school. And we even allow 2 alumni per team. Now, of course, this is the all-star matches. And so alumni or students are playing. It doesn't matter, especially because we're coming back from COVID, the long break.
Yeah.
So it's basically to get some cricket going again. And these guys, no matter how many years have passed, they're all eager to play our events. So I'm happy to give them the opportunity. It's fun for me as well as for them.
No, I was amazed at the turnout you've got, Lloyd. It's been a lot of top players. You can tell they're very keen for the action. So we're in trouble at 25 for 4.
You are. Well, your captain is there,
So
and he's a perfect example, Abdul. He's in med school. The workload is very tough, but he's happy to take this weekend to come and do this. So it's great to have that kind of devotion to American college cricket. Jaideep Reddy, and Jaideep is a very accomplished bowler, all round as well, basically. And going back to 2009, after we had our first championship in March in Florida, went back to New York, and I started organizing the college players in that area who were not part of a college team. Here comes Jaideep, nice smooth run up right arm. And this is played nicely by Hadi. This youngster looks pretty good in the shots that he's playing. And they get a single. And Jaideep actually was one of those college players from the Northeast area that traveled to New York to play in basically what were, you could call them all-star teams at the time,
right,
against Montgomery College primarily, who would travel from Maryland up to New York. And here he comes, nice run up, right arm, delivery, nicely played, and they'll get a single. Well, at least your batsmen are keeping the strike rotating, so
Yes.
that's one positive here, David.
that is. And Jaideep is the man that is in San Diego now, I think.
Yes.
And,
So
so he is the captain of the San Diego team, and then he was here last week with the U.S. training. So you've discovered another player for the
here he
US.
comes, right arm.
Slams it down.
So and they take a quick single.
I think the fielding is pretty good, Lloyd, today. They've been taking their catches.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any drop catch. And so, as I was saying, Jaideep would come down to New York and play in those matches. And that's how we got to know each other. Eventually, he did move to California, but we kept in touch. And here he comes, right arm. Ooh.
Wraps him on the pad, but I think he got a bat on it.
And that one came back on him, David.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good ball, but I guess the umpire would have thought that was going down the leg, so he couldn't call it. Now, the thing, so Jaideep stayed in touch, and then when we had an alumni versus current students game at 2016 Nationals, he played in that. Traveled all the way from the West Coast to Florida to play that one game. And that's an example of one reason why he's here today.
That's great. Yeah, Jaideep made himself available earlier, telling me how I'd been broadcasting there on Willow, and told him that he was playing for Vijayta, and he wanted to make sure that I mentioned he played for San Diego, who he wanted to know won the league. So good work there, Lloyd.
So Jaideep is strongly built, and he's been quite good on line and length here, which of course he has been playing this past week. So he should be. And here comes from this end, it will be Aditya Sen, and Aditya is medium pace. Aditya actually played a significant level of cricket back in India. He was on the same team as Mohammad Siraj, who plays for India.
Wow.
They were teammates about 5 years ago.
What state was that?
I don't remember the state, but they were teammates 5 years ago. And Aditya had an ankle injury. And ankle injuries are not the easiest things to get back 100% from. But that curtailed his professional career at that point, and so he focused on his studies, came to the U.S. to do his master's at the University of Florida. Here he comes, right arm. It looks like he's bowling spin today. He's quite an all-round. He bowls medium pace, he bowls spin, and of course he's a batsman.
And he's very athletic. I mean, he gets out there in nature and keeps...
Oh, yeah, yes, absolutely. Very tall, 6'2".
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's always doing something physical. When he's not working out in the gym, he's hiking.
Yeah.
He's doing these historical hikes as well. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. Here he comes, Aditya Sen, a good ball. But batsman managed to get it out of the way on the onside. He showed me a picture, and I'll send it to you later, of a photograph he took of a plaque in Savannah, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
which said that there was a cricket field there in 1742.
Yep.
And the locals used to play cricket there.
Yep.
And they called it one of the first, which I'm sure it was, one of the first cricket fields in the U.S. And I said, yeah, I said, that's all that is true. And David Sentence can confirm that.
Yeah.
Because cricket has been played in the U.S. since the 1700s at a minimum. You've documented from 1710.
Yes. Well, the founder of Georgia, Oglethorpe, was part of Johnson's group in London, and he founded Georgia with the basis of there would be no slavery. And then the person that replaced him, Stevens, played cricket.
So yeah, so Aditya, and of course, since he's been playing American college cricket, he's very conscious of, what I feel about the history of cricket in the U.S. So he himself was adapted to that. So when he saw these plaques, he took photographs of them.
I'd love to talk to him more about that. There was a Savannah cricket team on the Confederate side before the Civil War, and they all joined the Confederate side, and their captain actually became a brigadier in the Confederacy. So a lot of the cricket captains ended up being ranked officers either side on the Civil War.
Absolutely. So
So
the Sentence team now is 33 for 4. Aditya outside the off stump, diving wicketkeeper gets to that, and the umpire is not interested in a sort of an appeal as Aditya finishes his over, and 3 runs off of that over. Not bad at all.
It was an excellent over. I've been very impressed with the bowling of the Jota side.
Well, it's the Jota side. I expect no less. I mean, it's why I'm not out there bowling.
Yeah. We had Adi Bhatian earlier, and I know you're going to talk to him about the Marines and so on, but...
No, you mean Husnain Bashir.
Oh, Bashir. We have a Medal of Honor winner who's a cricketer as well. One of the he got it at Fredericksburg in 1862, and he played for New York and Philadelphia, and then ended up as a major general.
What's his name?
That I've got to recall.
But good story though, David.
Yeah.
We can't remember everything.
I gave you the references.
Yeah,
Now you could find the name. Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful ball. And that missed the off stump by a whisker, as they say. That's Jaideep Reddy, man now from the West Coast, started out on the East Coast. And that was a beautiful ball. So, yeah, lots of history scattered around the U.S. So I'm glad that our guys are motivated to, learn more.
Yeah.
And we just got to keep trying to get it out there. Here comes Jaideep once again, and we're looking at him front on now, which is always a nice thing to see. Oh, batsman dug that one out. Good ball. So at this rate, David, what do you project? It's in the 10th over, 33 for 4. What do you project your team will get?
Yeah, I think we'll be doing well to get 120. And the batsmen are doing their best. They're playing well. They're not getting out to stupid shots. So they're being bowled out with excellent bowling.
Nice shot down the wicket. It won't run all the way to the boundary. It's fielded, so get a couple. And, of course, while you're seeing these beautiful pictures there are people who are handling this behind the scenes. We want to thank them.
Yeah.
And our appreciation to Saki Mohammed and Moosa Stadium as well. As I'd like to remind people, Saki is a pioneer, the first privately owned major cricket facility in this country, really setting the bar very high for others to follow. Nice ball there. And it's a tremendous job that he's done. It was not easy to step up as a private individual and invest your time and money and your efforts into facilities such as this when no one else had done it.
No, it was such a broad-based effort too, because I remember seeing the Smart team, which was Saki's team, play out in Broward Stadium, when those tournaments are going there, and then he brought all that skill back to building the stadium. And he's obviously a visionary and not afraid to commit his money. So that's courage. That's business courage.
And here comes Jaideep, right arm. Oh, that one came back on the batsman, it looks like, but he got it away nicely, and they just stayed with a single, a good throw in from the field at backward point. At the time I had been saying, once I got involved in an active way in cricket in 2008, 2009, the thing that struck me was all the cricket fields were in parks. They were public things, so it limited what you could do.
Yeah.
And they were basic. Some didn't even have bathroom facilities. And it struck me that why, with all the money that's in the cricket community, why hadn't somebody built even just a simple field? Oh, a nice looking shot there, clipped off the legs. And it'll be just a single there. Sure, Ed Fox out in Kansas.
Yes, we talked about
developed a field out there.
He was one of the first too.
Another pioneer.
Ashik Patel, another pioneer with in New Jersey with youth cricket back in the 1990s. He was putting on tournaments and.
Right. But in terms of facilities, we were talking about these two, Saki Mohammed and Ed Fox.
Yeah.
Of course, Saki's effort was on a different scale. It was meant to be more commercial in the form of more with seating and stadium and so on. But Ed Fox did a pretty good job with his more personal cricket field. It's something I would love to have, a place where I have my own cricket field. Yeah. Just because.
So you have to move to Florida then, Lloyd, or to Texas where there's lots of flat land, right?
Oh man, Texas is ideal for cricket fields all over the place.
Yeah. You'll be competing with a few others with that Prairie Land complex as well. Yeah.
And so we're watching the Sentence team trying to retrieve, trying to repair the damage here. 36 for 4. Ooh, that one.
Nasty ball by Aditya.
Aditya with a beautiful ball from the far end. So the wicketkeeper is Rudy Shrivastava. He's from University of Springfield, Illinois.
Oh.
That was not the best shot there, David.
No, bowled him, didn't it?
No, but I mean, he stepped across the wicket before his intent was too obvious to the batsman. And it was just really not necessary at this point to play that kind of shot. Especially
with the way Aditya was bowling. He was bringing that ball out of the back of his hand and getting some tremendous movement on it. And I think probably the batsman was intimidated, actually, because he was doing it at pace. You don't often see that quality of bowling. It was coming from a height like that, quite a challenge for the batsman.
On the plus side, Aditya has actually put up the highest score so far for the Sentence team, 15 off of 26 deliveries.
That was a good innings.
Yeah, he did look good. I mean, he has a lot of promise for a young player. He's actually in high school, by the way.
Wow.
He's playing as a special guest player, even though these are mainly, these are all college or college alumni.
Yeah.
But I thought I'd give the youngster an opportunity. He was recommended.
Where is he from?
The Maryland area.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks pretty good. So I'm glad we gave him that opportunity. And, of course, he'll play more this weekend.
There's some very mature innings on his part for a youngster like that. Because he faced some excellent
absolutely.
bowling.
You couldn't tell the difference basically out there.
Yeah.
Difficult bowling.
Absolutely. And he's out to a very good bowler. Absolutely.
And the thing with Aditya, it's somewhat a little bit like Anil Kumble.
Mm-hmm.
Bowling, in this case, bowling spin from a significant height, 6'2".
Right.
And like you said, generating a little bit of pace sometimes off of that same delivery. Speaking of which, we'll see Rahul Gorajala from the sentence team bowling later on.
Mm-hmm.
And he just takes a couple of steps and generates a lot of pace. He's sort of like the Jasprit Bumrah of American college cricket.
Right. Well, I'm glad we got one decent bowler there, Lloyd.
You actually also have, like I said, Norman Zafar from Humber College.
Nice.
In Canada. He's played for Canada. So don't worry, you can defend. You can defend the total.
At 36 for 5, we're going to have to.
And right now we have the pleasure of Saki Mohammed popping in the commentary booth as we turn back to the action. Played out into the offside. And great to be here, Saki. As we were saying earlier, this is pioneering work you've done here.
Appreciate it.
And we can't stop saying that because...
He's done it again.
Yes.
Again, played right around that ball. And they're not catching his movement. He's turning that ball about half a foot. So that's 2 very good wickets there for Aditya. Excellent bowling. And we got a collapse here on the sentence side at 36 for 6.
David, you might need to make a motivational speech to the team.
Yeah, I guess I can't interfere with the flow of play at the moment. It's flowing all the wrong way. There's 2 wickets in that over.
We also have the pleasure right now, as we wait for the game to be restarted after that wicket, of Paul Bedford visiting from the ECB. And it's a pleasure to have you here, Paul. You must be enjoying the weather.
A lot warmer than in England.
Hopefully we can chat to Paul a little bit later. And find
If you
out what's
wish,
going on
sure.
the England side of things. So Aditya devastating with 3 for 2. I mean, 2 wickets for 3 runs.
And the fast bowler that was bowling from the far end, Danya Dev, he's actually from University of Guelph in Canada. He took 3 wickets in 4 overs, 2 and 1 over. So that's another talent that you might see playing for Canada at some point.
Nice.
Yeah. But I was telling David, his consolation is that he also has a bowler who we'll see later, Norman Zafar, who's already played for Canada.
Oh, that's normal.
Yeah. So all is not lost, David. You can still defend or try to defend.
Well, I think at the moment this is the lowest score I've ever seen in a T20 that I've commentated.
That you've commentated.
Yeah.
So Aditya has taken 2 wickets so far for 3 runs. He's only in a second over. And Aditya, as I was saying earlier, played with Mohammad Siraj on the same team as Mohammad Siraj, who's played for India. 5 years ago, they were playing on the same team, but then Aditya had an ankle injury and sort of curtailed his professional career, and he decided to focus on his education after that, and came to the University of Florida, did his master's, and now he was telling me yesterday that he's looking to do his MBA, because in his family, 1 master's is not enough. the stories these guys tell about the expectations of their parents are amazing. So, would you? Yeah, please.
Oh, runs him on the pad.
The umpire is not interested. And Aditya Sen is number 5, University of Florida Gators. He's the one with the who's lathered in sunscreen. So beautiful weather here in Houston, and it has been since we got here yesterday. Picked up some of the guys from the airport, so had to deal with some Houston traffic. But being from New York, of course, traffic is a fact of life.
I couldn't believe the Uber price, $300 from the airport to the hotel.
No way.
People were very happy we picked them up. Uber prices have gone through the roof recently. Yeah.
And we were not sure, and the traffic was horrible. Like, get into one of the terminals, at one point it seemed impossible because it was like a parking lot on the...
In the ball. Flights that ball.
Did it turn it off or something?
He might have.
It was on it no before.
It was on, yeah.
So I got a projected score here of 72, Lloyd, at the moment.
72?
Mm.
Well, hopefully the tail end will do some hitting.
Yeah. We need another partnership here.
Because that can easily happen. Because most players now have some degree of all-round skills. So rare is there a bowler who can't do any batting.
He's out. 37 for 7.
Was that section replay or what? He got out?
He's out. LBW. The bowler was flighting the ball extremely well and on a length. It's an excellent piece of spin bowling. There's not been a weak bowler on your side, Lloyd. you soften us up with some good fast bowling and then bring on these spinners. Man, brutal.
That was not deliberate, David. I can assure you that it's supposed to be balanced in the team. If anything, my team lost one of its top batsmen, Neil Patel, who at the last minute had an emergency. He said he's still trying to come for tomorrow. But the last time he played here, he scored 60, 72 not out, and 47 run out. And he was the captain of the winner side when we played against Canadian college cricket. So he's been one of our top players, but at the last minute he couldn't make it. So we're actually short a top player, David, and still we're giving you a hard time.
It doesn't make any difference. 37 for 7 with 11.2 overs gone.
David, can you use selfie all the way forward?
Pardon? We
Can you take selfie?
okay, sure.
All 4 of us.
So there we are. We got a selfie getting all 4 of us. So we're at Moosa Stadium. This is American College Cricket All-Star event, and for 2021. And this one's nicely flighted outside the off stump. Batsman takes no shot. Want to remind you that and the press release will be coming out soon. American College Cricket is now partnering with Cricket for India. Oh, another nicely flighted ball. And that's like back in the day when I played. You'd be trying to use your feet and get down the wicket to hit those balls on the flight. Batting has changed a bit. Batsmen are not using their feet as much. right arm, flighted again, and dot balls, another dot ball. So very effective over flight. This is almost like NASA.
Now you're getting really quite an education in how to handle sort of balls coming in from the off stump. Batsmen really, for the first part, were doing a good job of digging them out. As we go down the order here, they're playing around them, and that means footwork. They need to position better. But I don't think they're used to the pace of the spin coming in, so I expect second time around they'll improve. And this is a faster pitch than they're probably used to as well. So seeing some real challenging cricket here on the part of the Joda team.
Thanks very much. Keep going.
So Aditya keeping the pressure on the sentence team, doing an excellent job of captaincy. He's got 2 wickets for 3 runs so far in just 2 overs. That could have been easily out. That was just played underneath. That could have been an edge. And the wicket keeping has been excellent. So we're seeing some real top quality cricket here after the COVID layoff. So American college cricket seems to be up and running again. So Abdul on 5 has played fade 13 and Hardik on 0 with 4 faced. Digs that one out. Aditya's tail is really up and he's expecting a wicket every ball at the moment. The sentence team has tried to fight back, but best partnership was by a non-university player, a youngster out of Maryland. He's a very, very promising prospect, just still in high school. Played a very mature innings, top scorer of 15 at the moment. Aditya slams that one down again. He's spinning the ball out of the back of the hand there. The real wrist spinner. And from that height, he's very hard to dig out. Then slam it down again. Hardik quickly sends Abdul back. Hardik playing hard to get off his mark here. Slams that one down again. Some excellent leg break bowling here by Aditya. Didn't pick up a wicket on that one. He's now 2 wickets for 4 runs and 3 overs. Excellent bowling figures. So score now 38 for 7. Score rate now of 2.92. This is like the old test match scores. Abdul on 6 and Hardik still to get off the mark. Just 7 overs left. So at that rate there'll be another 15 runs and that would take you to under 70. And that's if we don't get any more wickets. So 50 should be the target at the current rate. Finale in. Another wrist spinner. Pops it up. Tempting the batsman there. So the sentence all-stars all at sea at the moment. Tempts him again, straight back to the bowler. Gets through his overs quickly. Picked that one up, Abdul did. Playing for the movement. Nice straight bat. Yeah, that's the way to do it, is to try and get in line and get behind the ball. Spins it up again. This way, opposite direction. Looking for the edge there. Inflation is a big discussion topic right now, and inflation in bat size and cost. One of the teams I played on, the bats were $900 a pop. Pushes that one out to off for nothing doing. Going with the line of the, or the grain of the bowling, as they say. Yeah, so bats have been going up quite a bit. The market's expanding. Pushes that one away. I started in an era when it was $100 a bat was regarded as a king's ransom. So score now 39 for 7, 14 overs down. Hardik on 7. Sorry, I mean Abdul on 7, Hardik on still looking to get off the mark. And Lloyd now back to join us in the booth.
David, 39 for 7. You need to make an inspiring speech.
I think, yeah, we need an inspiring innings at the moment.
Yes. So Aditya Sen enjoying his time here. This is a guy who loves his cricket, loves physical activity in general. He's normally hiking a whole lot. Here he comes. Right arm. And you're right, he is pushing the ball through. So in terms of a spinner, a bit of pace. And he's got good height, so the ball is coming from a high trajectory.
Yep.
And he's making the turn as well. So difficult situation. And we must say on behalf of the batsmen, you know, they don't play every day on turf.
No. This is new experience for a lot of them.
Inside edges, run down to the fine leg boundary, and they'll get a single. So Hardik gets a single, and Abdul Kuram, the captain, is at the other end, wearing his George Washington University pad covers, and they're pretty. They're particularly gorgeous in combination with the actual George Washington University uniform, but of course looks good here with the all-star uniform.
No, I like that idea, Lloyd, with the pads. Differentiates the, shows the college accent.
Oh, yeah.
It's very good.
It's really pretty, right?
Yeah.
And we did that for a number of schools. The George Washington University guys managed to retain theirs. Oh, nice ball there, but nicely clipped. They'll get at least a single.
Just want to observe that Hardik took about 2 overs to get off the mark, so he's been digging in as best he can. So that single was hard earned.
So Cricket for India is our new partnership, and we've already seen great results from Cricket for India, which you can find them on Facebook, Cricket for India, as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And their support has resulted in so much more exposure for American college cricket. You'll be seeing the press release soon, and other activities together as Aditya Sen comes in right arm. Good ball. And it's another dot ball. A reminder too, you can find us on Instagram, American College Cricket. Great action photos over the years, going back all the way to 2010. And Aditya Sen, outside the off stump, this is pulled away. They'll get a single. Yep, they do. And I don't mean that the account goes back to 2010. Our photographs do. And
you don't age yourself now, Lloyd.
Yeah, the account
I did offer you a slot in the 70s, you know.
The account itself
refused.
is much newer, so but it's pretty good. You can see delightful stuff there. American College Cricket on Instagram. We're also, of course, on Facebook, which is where you'll probably watching the stream. And needless to say, we're on YouTube and on Rumble. Rumble is a new video app. We're on there as well.
You are amazing with your knowledge of digital media, Lloyd?
Well, I found that it was, it was a good thing. It was. I think we were chatting about this last night, and it's something I've said in other places. Technology tends to. There can be a serendipity with technology and progress in different ways. Some things happen because of technology, and technology enhance certain things, which may happen with or without technology.
Yeah.
But definitely, if you're able to use technology, you can get some pretty effective progress.
Well, you were saying earlier that you started on Facebook, but then, of course, the iPhone came in, which then you could get the Facebook on the iPhone. And
no. The iPhone, you seem to love iPhones, David. You're constantly promoting.
I love the iPhone.
iPhone has nothing to do with American college cricket. American college cricket, prime motivator of getting it started was Facebook. And that's it. Nothing to do with iPhone. I resist your attempts to promote the iPhone. You must be getting. Here comes the bowler outside the off
wish.
I don't know what your connection being from California is to the iPhone, but
Cupertino's just trying
from
to
last night to tonight to today, you've just been pushing that iPhone agenda.
He hits it high.
Tried to take that one-handed behind his back and didn't get it. So a life there for the batsman, which you can very well use. It goes up to 4-6 for 7. We're in the 16th over. So, 100 runs is possible here, but it's looking unlikely.
Well, earlier I projected 50, so this is good. Good piece of wicket keeping throughout the innings. That was a bit of a drop, but doing a good job for the spinners.
And, back in 2010, when we started doing our uniforms, it's another area, like so many, that American college cricket has been pioneering in. We went to colored clothing when many of the leagues around the country were still wearing white. The only colored uniforms generally being used then were in softball cricket. And they were carnival colors, as I used to say. I said there's no way we were wearing those things. And so I opted for something mild but professional looking, using the school colors.
Yeah.
And we set the tone. And then eventually I had to make it mandatory that the pads be colored, because the guys were still showing up with white pads. So around 2014, that became mandatory. But we had started basically modernizing uniforms from 2010. And then I wasn't happy with the limited designs I was getting. Mm-hmm. So then I started designing the uniforms. And so many of the uniforms, I hesitate to say, but I'm happy to say that I've designed. Yeah, because I wanted to impart my vision as to the role uniforms could play for the game. And here comes the left arm, Monish Kumar.
Yep.
Monish is bowled early in the game, so this is his second over. I think at the time I thought he might have been Danya Dev, because he's fairly big as well. And Manish is from Arkansas State University. He's the club president and captain from Arkansas State.
Got some big lads in this game.
Yes, tell me about it. Every time I have to take a picture with the team, I'm reminded.
They could be football players.
And this particular... So when we did the first All-Star Weekend in 2015, Anya and I designed those uniforms.
Oh.
And we used that with a bit of variation for the next few years. For this year, I decided to get a completely new design. So this is the new design.
Got right behind that ball.
And that's 6 runs. I think it's the first 6 we've seen for this innings.
Yep.
And it comes from the captain, who has somewhat struggled. But if this is an indication of what... no, apparently it was 4. So if this is an indication of what he's going to do, if he can do it effectively, he can take this total up to something that is a little easier to defend. Because right now I don't think the team will have any issues getting the winning score.
Well, at least we're getting a captain's innings here. So that's...
Of course, though, I can say that now, but again, these guys are playing on a turf wicket, which they're not accustomed to. And it remains to be seen how the other side bats on it for the first time. I'm sure they'll acclimatize by the time the second game comes around later today. But for now, it's a challenge.
Well, actually, this was Aditya's strategy from the beginning when he won the toss, was to put in the team to bat, the sentence team to bat, so his players, who also didn't have a lot of practice on grass, would get to see how the wicket played and how the ball should be played. So they're getting quite an education.
Well, that was pretty astute on the part of Aditya.
Yeah, it was a smart decision. Score 53 for 7.
Monish is proven to be expensive in this over. 15 runs off of him, and he's only in his second over here. But tries to swing that away. Hardik Mattress from Syracuse University, and has a pretty accomplished cricket history back in Hong Kong.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah. In the old Hong Kong. Played on Victoria Peak. It's beautiful ground up there.
Left arm. This one is struck away. In the air, but safely.
So a nicely expensive over from Manish. Sentence team breathes a sigh of relief.
In fact, David Sentence breathes a sigh of relief. Speaking for yourself, David.
I am, indeed.
So, American college cricket, of course, our nationals have been on Sony since 2016. So, next March is our 2022 National Championship, and early registration will begin on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. So, if you're listening to this, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to the American College Cricket Facebook page or the Instagram page, and start to register for the National Championship in 2016. As Sony has been broadcasting our national championships since 2016, regionals, and then nationals in 2017, 18, 19, and 2020. Of course, COVID locked down everything. And so we're happy to be with Sony. And so I'm as excited as players for next year, and to get things back to where we were before the whole lockdown situation happened.
No, that's good news, Lloyd.
And Sony, of course, has been the first 10 years of the IPL. It was on Sony, and Sony helped establish the IPL to be the juggernaut that it is. Where now 2 new IPL teams were sold for $1.5 billion.
Amazing. One of those in Gujarat, I heard. Push that one out.
And so it's Jaideep Reddy once again coming in for his third over. He's only given away 8 runs so far. So has been effective in keeping the runs down to go with the wickets falling at the other end to Danya and Aditya Sen. Oh, what a ball.
Yeah, pushed that one through.
But that ball came back. He pitched on about middle to off, and it went across and tucked that leg stump. Great ball there from Jaideep, David.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, Hardik tried very hard to stay with Abdul there, get a bit of a partnership going, but he head rush there on that shot.
Yeah, and also the ball came back on him, so it went between his bat and pad.
Yeah.
And just took away that leg stump. It was a gorgeous delivery. And so Jaideep gets a reward for his tight bowling so far.
He's bowling excellent.
And this is in his third over, so 2.2 balls, 8 runs, 1 wicket. Jaideep ready. Can go back to the West Coast. Feeling pretty good after a week of cricket now.
Yeah.
So, as I was saying, National Championship will be March, as usual, March 16th to the 20th. So contact me, contact the American College Cricket Facebook or IG page for early registration. Chances are we'll only limit it to a top 16 teams. And since we, of course, are on Sony, this is the elite.
Right.
And, of course, by then, too, the bidding for the media rights for the IPL will happen again. So I'm hoping our exclusive broadcast partner, Sony, will get back the IPL. That would be awesome. I really like Jaideep's run-up and delivery.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's full-fledged follow-through. He was very strong, too, so...
Yeah, broad shoulders.
Yeah. He's getting some power into that ball.
Here he comes, right arm.
I think that's part of the story of this innings, is that the spin bowling has been fast spin bowling. It's not really slow, and so it's forcing the batsman to...
Well, yes, true, except for the one that was flighting it. I forget which bowler that was.
But the rest of the stuff is fast and quick moving.
Yep. But the bowler that was flighting it, and then I'll have to get his name, was flighting it pretty well.
Well, that adds to the variety, right?
Yeah. And you see, the thing is, sure, I don't play now, but a bowler who was flighting back in the day, a batsman would move down the wicket, would use their feet and get that ball, get that bowler. If you don't happen to get down, you would go on the back foot and crack them square or something like that. Yeah. The batsmen now, it's just a difference from how it used to be. They don't really use their feet, and they basically swing from a limited position. So it really puts the advantage in the spin, in the flighter of the ball's hands, as long as they're flighting it well.
I must admit, I found that this last week when I was playing against some of the lads. A lot of the flight balls got the wickets.
There you go. And that's why I'd rather go down the wicket and take the chance to get in stumped,
right,
than to be stuck in my wicket and be swinging at the ball. And if you went down the wicket really well, because it's something that you did regularly, you were accomplished at it, you minimize the risk of being stumped, because you were not going to miss that ball often.
Right. Most spin bowlers have that fast ball, which they will push through if they see you coming down too much, because they'll go for the stumping if they can get it.
Right, but that's where you're not telegraphing your movement.
Right.
You're going down the wicket is after the delivery of the ball.
Yeah.
But you need quick movements. It's got to be something that you're accustomed to doing.
These spinners are quick for the most part.
Yeah. No, but I'm talking about the one that was flighting the ball.
Right.
I would have gone down the wicket and taken him on either on the flight itself or just on the half volley.
Yeah.
I would dictate.
Mm-hmm. So Monish, the most expensive bowler at the moment, but we're grateful. And it's nice to keep him on.
Monish coming in, left arm.
Haven't been many boundaries in this innings.
No, the batsmen have really struggled. And whilst a couple of them, including Aditya Bhardwaj, he played some delightful shots, but not get into the boundary necessarily. Get in a single, double, and so on.
We're seeing a captain's innings here.
And that one is sort of just played away to short leg position by Nauman Zafar. Nauman Zafar has played for Canada as a fast bowler, and he's from Humber College. And Abdul Khurram is the captain. He's on 17. Yeah, captain's innings so far. Two deliveries.
He's top scorer.
Top scorer. Slow going, but at the score that the sentence team has right now, I hardly think that that's an issue. Though being in the 19th over, they might want to take a swing at it and get 20 runs. But that's easier said than done because the bowling has generally been really good. And let's see, is that a run out?
Close.
It was pretty close.
Good effort in running because he had to run around the big bowler there. Took a very wide berth.
Sort of like when you, what do you call it when you're on the basketball court? A pick.
Yes, a pick. Some birthing pains there.
He said the pick. The guy had to run around it.
Yeah, these coloured uniforms have generated a whole new business of these slip-on colours for pads as well. So guys have the white, but put the slip-ons on these T20 games.
This one is up in the air. Will somebody get under it? He does and takes it. Or does he drop it? He did drop it. He looks so confident.
Out of camera range there.
He looked like I would look trying to take that catch. I would look confident, but
yeah, captain survives.
But the ball would be through my hands.
Yeah.
I'd be looking for where the sun is so I could make my excuse. Oh, it was in the sun. I lost the ball in the sun.
That's the only drop that we've seen, I think, in this whole innings. Again, another.
That one slipped out
toss.
of his hand, so that'll be a no ball and a free hit. Definitely above the shoulders. Well, that's the thing. In the development of a sport, it's also an industry development and all aspects of that. So, I was very conscious of that when I started American college cricket, that we would be sort of propelling the cricket industry into a more professional level in all aspects. Because, for instance, you're having to make proper colored uniforms.
Right.
Instead of pulling on whatever you have to wear, the same white clothes all the time. By the way, I have nothing against the white clothes. I like how cricketers look in white. But, that's a different story. I love, for instance, our uniforms. They do make an impact, which was the goal.
Got the last over coming up here, Lloyd.
At 64 for 8, if they can get 16 runs, it would put them at 80, which might not sound like a great total, but it's a bit, it's defendable because this is a turf wicket where the batsmen have not had any practice on. So the batsmen are at a disadvantage.
Right. Who's bowling the last over? J-Deep? Yeah, I think it's J-Deep.
By the way, in case you were confused as to who the guy in black is, it says right across the back, umpire.
Yeah. With a bit of sling on it, I see.
Well, these are shirts from our national championships where Sling has been a sponsor since 2016. So
Yeah, they've been very supportive, haven't they?
Yes, they have. Jaideep Reddy. Oh,
balls on.
what a ball. Just
Yeah.
like the last one where he got a batsman.
And that's the captain.
What a ball that was for 21. Abdul Karam goes 21 and 36 deliveries. Pretty good knock by him despite his struggles and the struggles of the team in general. And he gets
third of the runs.
Yep, the highest score for the team is Jaideep gets his second wicket. So good day at the office for Jaideep, as they say. And 3 bowlers have shared the wicket. Danya Dave is taking 3. Aditya Sen 2.
Aditya Sen's done an excellent job of captaincy in this in this innings, and winning the toss and the thought behind sort of bowling first. So all of his gambles have paid off.
Absolutely. Words of praise for his captaincy here can't be enough. And stepped in as the captain. He had been appointed vice captain, but stepped in as the captain because of Neil Patel having an emergency and not able to be here. And Aditya has done a tremendous job. Aditya, of course, has also been our host on Sony at Nationals in the past. And no doubt we'll do that in the future as well.
He's a jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. Well, we look to give our opportunities to our players in whatever field because, like I was saying earlier, it's an industry that's developing. So you never know where, even if it's on a part-time basis, your opportunities can come.
Yeah.
Here comes Jaideep Reddy, and the batsman moves backwards to play that one. And it's Akash Jadela and Noman Zafar. So Jaideep, nice
So
run.
we make 70.
Nice run up, delivery. Loud appeal. Umpire not interested.
Yeah, this moving outside the off stump toward the end of an innings is happening more and more in the T20 format.
Well, the reason for that is because of the ICC rule that everything on the leg side is a wide. The bowlers are pitching middle to off. It's like a strike zone in baseball.
Yeah.
And so the batsmen are doing that because you got to get the ball from outside the off stump mostly.
Right.
So whether you hit it on the offside, which many are not doing, but pull into the leg side, because usually the offside has more fielders than the leg side.
Yeah. No, so
the gaps are on the leg side, so you pulling. I hate the pulling shot. And that's why in American college cricket, generally we've adopted the rule since 2010 that everything on the leg side is not a wide.
Yeah.
But of course, even though that's our rule, umpires are not accustomed to that. So they won't necessarily go exactly as they should.
Naaman doing a good job here, keeping the ball on the scoreboard.
Well, just 2 deliveries left to whatever runs they can get. Sorry, 1 delivery left. Whatever runs they can get in these last couple, was welcome. So now 1 ball to go. Let's see what they can do with this one. If he hits a 6, it gives them 75. If he hits a 4, it gives them 73. And I hope you're impressed by my math there.
First rate.
So let's see. Jaideep Reddy, 2 wickets for 13 runs. Last ball of the over and the innings.
Lovely
nice
shot.
looking shot, yes. But there's a man on the boundary, so there'll just be 2 runs. But 2 runs
70.
to the score. So it's 7-1.
And he's got him.
And that's it. The end of the innings. So they did get across for 2. So sentence team ends with 7-1.
Excellent job by Aditya on captaincy. Jaideep on his bowling. Got some good cricketers out there, Lloyd, on your team. Abdul played very well.
And
as captain.
Adi.
And Adi.
Yeah, not
Those
a
two.
lot, I guess you can say about the baton. The baton,
Well,
but-
sentence teams are always bowling teams, so we'll see what happens. In the
but
next
Abdul
innings.
Karam and Adi Bardwaj did do a good job
So,
to the extent that they were able to stay there for a bit and put some runs on the board. And again, you're at Moosa Stadium. Stay tuned for the second innings, which we'll have in about 15 minutes or less. And it'll be David Sentence and Lloyd Jodo once again on the commentary. Stay tuned.
So we're back on now. The Joda team has set to score 71 runs, or 72 runs as the target. And in comes Lloyd, just arrived.
So this is going to be a tough defense of this total, David, but I'm sure you guys will give it all. And knowing American college cricket players, there's no give up really. And we could see some interesting happenings here.
Yeah, I overheard the captain in the changing room talking to the sentence team, and he had a lot of good advice. Certainly tell them not to give up and to fight for every ball. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, actually I was watching Friday Night Lights, which is a TV show from over a decade ago. And I like shows like that, which are basically about youth sports. Especially team youth sports. And a lot of it is applicable across sports. So motivational words to a team, it doesn't matter whether it's football or whether it's cricket, it's practically the same.
Right. There's that recent series, though, on Netflix that came out about an American coach in England with the soccer teams, and how he got them all up being very successful at what they were playing.
Yeah, the thing about sports is that it's that a lot of it is mental. Yeah, you have to prepare, you have to have physical skills, etc. But you can have all of that, and if the mental part is not there, you're not going to have the success you really want. And especially in a team sport, you need to feel purpose. You need to be motivated to give your best on the field, and that can elevate your performance.
Absolutely.
And so in watching this show, for example, it's great to see how the coach, how he motivates the things he has to say to the team mid-game to adjust, make changes when they're behind, or individual players who may be going through different, teenage, in this case the show that I was watching, teenage issues, to get their head into the game when it's game time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also training for focusing on your purpose at any point in your life when you need to. Because we all will have issues happening, which can be, as they said, distractions, which they're more serious than distractions. But at various points, you still have to focus on a singular purpose. It could be something as simple as doing your job, even while you have personal negative things happening.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to focus. And how well we do that you can be trained when you're playing a sport to do that. It's one of the reasons when I read this book by Joseph O'Neill, Netherlands, about an innings. An innings, when you're batting, is a battle. It's how you apply yourself to the challenges, sort of like how you apply yourself to the challenges of life. And there'll be balls that will give you a hard time.
Yep.
And you still got to continue. You can't throw up your hands and say, I can't handle this spin bowler or this pace.
Right, and then there's the field of play as well, situational awareness. I had an experience this last week where I ran somebody out just by opening up the palm of my hand because somebody had hit the ball and the guy was out of the crease. And so by touching the ball, we got the wicket. And that's a quick adjustment on the field, just being situationally aware of what's happening. And when you have that 20% physical total fitness, the other 80%, as you say, is mental. And so when you're fit, you're able to focus on that situational opportunity that arises in cricket And sometimes it can create a major breakthrough.
Yep. And speaking of Joseph O'Neill in Netherlands, I've been working on my book,
Oh, really?
which I will definitely have out before Nationals in March.
Well, this is a good COVID experience then, Lloyd. You've been able to put together the statistical base for American college cricket.
I guess that's one way to look at it. Incidentally, it's not just focused on statistics. It's more about the stories of American college
Great.
cricket.
That's what people like.
And it's my whole sort of like the life and times of American college cricket and Lloyd Joda, because, of course, it's the engine has been myself. So there are reflections of parts of my life that affect the development of what ultimately became American college cricket.
Yeah.
So a bit of my childhood, a bit of earlier life, stuff like that. And it's where you really sort of try to bring out the more nebulous aspects of what you're doing, not just the physical, the immediate, what's visible. You want to also bring out thought processes and so on behind it. I'm not sure what the delay is.
Norman's using it very effectively with his run-up,
Yeah.
making sure he gets that squared away, using the time well.
I see the two batsmen out there.
Are we all coordinated with cricket clubs, or is that?
I see the two umpires. I'll find out what's going on. You.
All right. Got somebody running in right now.
Perhaps he was in the bathroom.
A bathroom break.
So, yeah, I'm hoping to get that into the meat of the book. Basically, Joseph O'Neill's Netherlands has been an inspiration. It's if I can accomplish, I've said this somewhere else, if I can accomplish 25% of what he accomplished with that book in terms of telling the story, fictional as it is, it reads like nonfiction. But it was so well written. If I can get 25% of that, I'll feel I've succeeded.
Excellent. Well, look forward to reading that when it comes out.
All right. And now it'll be the start of this innings. That's Norman Zafar running in. He has that's nicely clipped away for 4 backward of point. Well, what a start.
This Joda team is off to the races.
Adi goes to retrieve this on the boundary. And they have a batsman, Neil Patel, who actually can... He has a strike rate in American college cricket in over 20 innings of 240.
That's amazing.
Astounding.
We picked him up from the airport yesterday, right?
Yeah, he has a century and some 50s. But for that number of innings to have that high a strike rate is incredible. You know, even if you had that in 3 innings, it would be pretty good. Oh, here comes Norman. Oh, what a lovely run-up, too. I've always liked his run-up and movement, his run-up and delivery. Since the first time I saw him play, he impressed me. And then, not to my surprise, he got selected for Canada a little later.
Right.
So some people's talent just come out at you. Boom.
Yeah.
So it'll be a delight to watch him bowl in here. And, of course, he has a really heavy task ahead of him. So Rudrakash starts off with a 4, though. And that's a wide.
Who's the wicketkeeper?
The wicketkeeper, I'll tell you in a second. It's Husnain Bashir. Husnain Bashir went to Maryland, and he's also a U.S. Marine. He was a College Player of the Year in 2019, and before the end of the year, he was a U.S. Marine.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes Norman Zafar, right arm. Lovely run-up in action. That was nicely played. Wouldn't get to the boundary. But lovely shot. He just sort of twirled his wrist there, and I guess you'd call that a cut.
Yeah. I mean, I probably rank Rudy as one of your top American college cricket batsmen, and probably one of the top batsmen in the United States at the moment.
Who?
Rudy, or the Neil Patel.
Yeah, Neil Patel, not Rudy. Rudy, you haven't seen bat yet. Oh, a lovely shot. But well fielded. That's a lovely shot. He stood up tall and just cut that away into the covers.
You're telling me Neil's still to come, Lloyd?
Yeah, Neil was
my
not
goodness.
there.
We're really in trouble.
These two batsmen are already looking pretty good. 7 without loss in the first over, and they're facing a top talent in Norman Zafar. Lovely shot into the covers. And Norman Zafar, to remind everyone, he has played for Canada in the Caribbean Super 50 in 2019 before the lockdown. And is looking to make his way back into the Canadian team. And of course, he could very well be playing in the T20 World Cup qualifier and ultimately the T2024 World Cup.
Yeah, we've got a lot of cricket coming our way in the United States. 2028, there'll be the Olympics in Los Angeles.
And if Nomar makes it into the team, as he was already selected in 2019, he'll be playing in the World Cup, which of course the US is also hoping to qualify. Both Canada and the US are now going to be going into the next stage, which is the global qualifier. And if they get through that, well, then they'll be in that World Cup. And we'll see them in action in the US possibly in 2024, since the US and West Indies will share that T20 World Cup. The 50-something games, US will get a significant number of those. And Broward Stadium, where American college cricket has played since 2009, will be home to some of those games. Maybe even here, Moosa Stadium.
Yeah. I certainly know Los Angeles is expecting to get some of the Olympic games.
Well, I think that's more likely, but for these games, for the World Cup, it's less likely because of the distance.
Yeah.
All the way across the U.S. from the West Indies. That could be a factor in determining if any games happen in 2024 out there.
Right.
Not to say it won't. I'm just saying that that'll be a huge factor.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's another reason why Florida is such high on, location, because apart from the facility of Broward Stadium, here comes Rahul Gorjala. As you can see, even in his first ball, there was significant pace from just a couple of steps. So it's Bumrah, Gorjala.
Rudy had a good first over there, 6 runs off it. Nice piece of bowling.
It's fun to see somebody generate pace off almost just a couple of steps.
Yeah.
And that's what's so funny about Bumrah. And here comes Bumrah Gorjala. By the way, I was thinking of nicknames for our teams. And I was thinking that my team could be the Top Guns.
Oh, I see.
And your team could be Magnum Force.
That sounds good. Strong at any rate.
Yeah. Here comes Rahul Gorjala from West Virginia University.
Oh, excellent ball. Almost got an edge.
And Rahul, of course, was the top all-rounder in the 2019 Nationals, a major factor in West Virginia winning that national championship. He was one of the top run scorers and one of the top wicket takers as well. And in between, he did some wicket keeping.
Good all-rounder. If I remember, Chowdhury was a major player on that team as well.
Yes, definitely.
It's a bit wild, yeah. Put a little bit too much effort in.
Another top batsman that year for West Virginia was Raj Shekhar.
Right.
And so here comes Rahul, right arm. Good pace, good delivery. And that,
right on the wicket.
That makes it even more difficult when somebody generates pace off a short run-up. As a batsman, the ball appears to come onto you faster because it's like it's not running up. So you're not mentally prepared for that speed of the ball.
Right.
So here comes Rahul. Another good ball, but played out nicely onto the onside. And already we've seen from these two batsmen, they're looking more comfortable.
Yes, they're able to handle this bowling. But we've seen some good fielding today. Just one drop catch, but guys are very athletic in the outfield.
So Keenal Patel, who scored a lot of runs for University of South Alabama back in 2018 Nationals. And Rudra Kash, known as Rudy, opened the bat in for the Joda 11. Rudy is from University of Illinois Springfield, sorry. And he's also a wicket keeper. So he's on 7. Keenal is on 1. So the sun is behind some of the large cumulus clouds we have, but still beautiful weather and gorgeous day here in Houston area. This area is actually Pearland, and we're at Moosa Stadium.
Yeah, cumulus clouds usually mean rain, so hopefully it'll hold up.
No, but not the white ones. So these are the right color.
Oh.
You know, I'm the local meteorologist.
I guess so.
Yeah. Cricketer and meteorologist.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I just remember a bit.
Meteorologist and meteorologist.
One of the. I remember my high school geography. And this is Norman Zafar, once again, from the near end. Oh, this one is in the air, but it'll be safe. Will the man down on the third man boundary get to it? Does not, and it's 4 runs.
Yeah, we haven't seen many boundaries in this game.
But I think you'll see a few here.
You're going to see a few already.
Yeah.
I think that's about to change.
So that's Rudy. Get into 11, and he looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable at the moment. So you could have a 10-wicket victory here, Lloyd. What do you think?
Well, let's don't count the chickens before they hatch. Or the cows before they come home.
Well, they will do for the rain.
Here comes Norman. Oh, nice. And he's generated some nice pace too, which you would expect.
Bashir doing a good job on the wicket keeping.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that he was doing some wicket keeping until he told me that he'll be the guy wicket keeping when Rahul was bowling. So, well, look at that. Oh, that one came back and kept a little bit low as well. Batsman did well to keep it out. And that's Rudy, who's on 11. And that definitely was a pretty good shot in terms of keeping that ball out of his wicket, David.
He's got great technique, and he got right behind it. And he's also there on time. He's not being rushed for his shots.
So Norman Zafar comes in Nice delivery. Again, a pretty good ball, making the batsman jump back and playing defensively. Norman, of course, from Humber College in the Toronto area, and was selected to play for Canada in 2019.
He took a little bit of a walk there to collect himself. 2 excellent balls.
And no doubt we'll see him back in March at National Championship. Here he comes. Right arm. Nice looking shot. Rudy really looks good. He looks like what we'd call back in the day a stroke player. He's just...
Yeah, he adjusted very well there. I mean, the bowler decided to put a little wrist action in there and go a little wider, and he picked it up very fast.
So Norman happy to be back here playing. He's played here before as an all-star for Canadian college cricket. And here he comes. This one's in the air, but safely, and it's 4 more runs. So this is Keenal Patel moving on to 5. Keenal from University of South Alabama.
Good partnership already.
And I think very importantly, we've seen some nice shots. So, you know, once I figure the sentenced 11 have got over what happened here in the first innings, they'll play, you know, you'll see their batsmen playing better shots and scoring more runs. Because clearly the pitch is fine.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about an international bowler, Norman Zafar bowling, and being handled by these 2 batsmen. And Rahul himself is a tremendous bowler. His pace off a short run up is awesome. Here he comes. Dive-in keeper. Husnain Bashir, U.S. Marine, dive into his left.
Good pick up there by Bashir.
Yeah, absolutely. 2019 U.S. College Player of the Year. Here comes Rahul.
Again.
This one down. That'll be 4 byes. Yeah, he couldn't get to that one. That one was a little wide outside the leg stump.
Yeah.
And I think that will probably be wides, 4 wides. Valiant effort the ball before, which he succeeded. This one was just a little bit too far.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in the broadcast booth here at Moosa Stadium, a very professional broadcast booth. One of the changes, improvements that has been made since we were here last. And it's pretty nice.
It's such a joy compared to broadcasting off at these frames and I guess the backstops, and it's very comfortable.
Rahul Gurjala.
Now that one's on a line length.
Played defensively out into the offside by the batsman as a plane crosses in our line of sight, way over there. Could be going to Habi or leaving Habi Airport, which is nearer to the ground than George Bush. And he's gone.
Yeah, he pulled that and then it was caught mid-wicket.
So the breakthrough by Rahul at 27. The first wicket fallen in the 4th over.
It was actually a really good piece of adjusted bowling there by Rahul, because he had 2 wides and he could have fallen apart, but now he's brought himself back into the line and then picks up a wicket on a miss hit. So a good adjustment by the bowler.
Yeah, and a batsman who was looking pretty good. Played some pretty good shots.
Yeah. This is nil. This is your 250 hitter.
240, yeah.
Yeah.
Nil Patel, strongly built. He works out a lot. Powerfully built, as a matter of fact. When he hits that ball, as they say, it stays hit.
Mm. And he's a very popular player on the circuit, isn't he? Did he play minor league cricket this year?
No, he had reasons why he didn't. Personal reasons
that's right.
he didn't play. And Nil is just an amazing batsman. A strike rate of 240 in American college cricket. And we're talking about over 20 innings. So not just a small number of innings, over 20 innings. And he has a score of over 100. His highest score. He scored a century. And on another occasion, I believe off the top of my head, he made 95 not out in a very short time.
Mm-hmm.
The time that he made it in, he shouldn't have had reason to maybe even score a 50.
Wow.
But he was striking the ball so well that he got all the way close to a century. That one comes back in at him a bit.
What's his college?
NJIT,
He's a New Jersey guy.
New Jersey. NJIT Highlanders. And that one came back on him, but he adapted quite well there, David.
He did. Quick reflexes.
Very quick there. I love how that was handled. I mean, that one came back in so sharply, and it might even have kept a bit low.
Beautiful ball.
Twirl of the bat there, gets us out into the offside.
He looks very comfortable at the crease, doesn't he?
Yeah, you get the impression he's been there before.
Yeah.
Very nice vista here at Moosa Stadium. Nice looking shot. Cracks it out into the offside. Down to the backward point area. Man on the boundary there will field, so they'll just get a single. Sends in a strong throw. And Moosa Stadium in Pearland, which is just outside of Houston. The very first privately developed and owned major cricket facility in the U.S. And we've been playing here since 2014. 2014 Southwest Regionals. We've played here nearly every year except for the lockdown period.
Yep.
So back here. And the dressing rooms are all ready, and so each team has a dressing room, which these guys love that. I mean, where do you play and get your own dressing room? Broward Stadium and here.
They got flush toilets too. That's unusual in cricket grounds around the U.S.
Yeah, absent in many.
Woodley, we had one of the homeless burn down our plastic toilets the other day.
Really?
Stuffed it with carpet and set it on fire.
Here comes Norman. Right arm outside the off stump.
He generates
Once a
pace.
while. Yes, he does.
Ooh. It's a beautiful run up, as you said.
Yeah, yes.
Just very fluent. He has that bowler command there.
I didn't realize that Hosnain Bashir had this ability as a wicketkeeper, because keeping to Raul and Norman is
That's not
can't
easy.
be easy. You know, just anybody can't do it.
You get bruised hands at the end of the day.
But also the movement you need to move
Yeah.
across, because they're bowling at a good pace and
Can
moving
thank the
the ball.
Marines, huh?
Hmm?
Thank the Marines for the training.
Oh, definitely. Here comes Norman. on the wicket this time. Played out nicely into the offside. Picked up one-handed, nice pick-up and throw. The man backing up will save that from being overthrows. So a nice little bit of cricket there. And straight bat with that shot into the offside. So technique, we're seeing very fine technique so far from this side batting. The Jota side, of course, probably inspired by me.
But of course.
I haven't batted in forever. Here comes Norman. Nice ball, nicely played.
Nobody down there.
And that'll be 4 runs. So that's Neil Patel getting off the mark with a boundary. He moves on to 5. And
I think Nauman could do with a fine leg down there, because that's 8 runs that have come off that bowling.
yeah, I'm
That's
surprised there's nobody down there. I mean, both bowlers have a bit of pace.
Yeah, it's easy running. Just have to get a nick.
Well, there is a man down there now, but the cows have left the
The barn.
barn. Norman, right arm. Doesn't quite get a hold of this one there, the batsman, but enough to get out into the for the square leg there for a single. And Neil is damaging the strike rate here by taking it easy,
Mhm.
just because the total is low.
Yeah.
He may actually drop down into 220 or something like that.
He's explosive. That's not going to help either. He's lucky not to get away with a wide on that one. I love the attitude of these bowlers, though. Give it everything.
So, reminder, American College Cricket National Championship is March 16th to the 20th, and it'll be in Fort Lauderdale as usual. Great for spring break, and great. Oh, lovely shot. And will he get to it? He just stops it just inside the boundary.
Powerful wristy shot, that.
Definitely a lovely shot off a class bowler. So Norman, not exactly worrying the batsman right now, despite bowling well. But these batsmen have looked really good. And of course the man on strike now is Neil Patel, who could easily hit a couple of sixes right now. Doesn't get hold of that one, they'll get a single. Oh, I'm sorry, I was looking at the scoreboard. That was actually Keenal Patel that got that single.
I love the camera work here at Moosa. They do a good job of catching the fielders in full flow.
Yeah, and the great thing is, I just love the uniforms.
Yeah, you did a good job there, Lloyd.
Thank you, but I mean, I can't help saying it because it's a delight to see the players,
Yeah.
looking really professional, making an impact on the video.
You decided to wear the same design for both teams.
Yeah, because I think is in conversation with you, as you said, cricket teams wear whites,
Right.
both sides.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, yeah, you're right. So why not? Because the reason being, they're both American College Cricket
Right.
All-Star team. There's no difference,
Yeah.
right? So making different uniforms would have not made sense either. So when you said that, I said, yeah, well, let's go ahead with the same design for both
That's good.
teams.
Yeah.
And it also makes it easy. The fourth game, there's going to be a team of 12 selected from the performances here who will then play against University of Texas Arlington.
Oh, they're coming up, are they?
Yeah, so this way there will be no need to get different uniforms or to have people with two different uniforms in one team.
Right.
So,
Are Arlington strong this year? Do you know?
all of their players have been playing locally. So even though they have not played any college cricket for a bit, this will be the first college cricket game they're playing since the lockdown. Their players are playing locally in the Dallas Premier League and so on. So they'll be ready to play.
Yeah.
And they could even win the game, because they've been playing.
They've been playing together,
Yeah.
good chemistry and so on.
Well, whether or not it's together, they've been playing significant cricket.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, a lot of the teams managed to get a full season in this year.
no, not in college cricket. We haven't been playing, so that's
No, I was referring to the leagues and so on.
yeah. But in college cricket, we haven't been playing. So, for instance, University of Texas Arlington has not had a game as a college team, as college cricket.
Yeah.
But with the players haven't been playing, they'll come in pretty strong. So Nil Patel on 2, really slow going for Nil. It's 7
Yeah.
deliveries without a 6.
Strike rate of 0.5.
And he was bowled.
Golden. Wow. That's a turn up for the books. Excellent piece of bowling.
Yeah.
Well done, sentence team.
That one came in from the outside, angled in, and was Yorker. Was a Yorker.
Yeah, yoked him. Yep. Kind of floated down.
And Raul, of course, generates significant pace off that short delivery. So a fast Yorker beat Raul, who was playing a defensive shot. That was his other problem.
Mm-hmm.
Playing a defensive shot. It's so
there you go.
out of character. And he was bowled. So great job there by Raul, who gets his second wicket in his third over, and 2 wickets down for the Joda team, which of course gives the sentence team hope because
Yeah, he got a wicket like
getting
that.
a couple of wickets, and the wicket like
A wicket like that.
Nil Patel, strike rate of 240 before this innings.
Yeah, he was labouring there with the good bowling. And the wides in this case have been a bit of a setup for the accurate ball next in the second ball.
Well, that's not unusual because it makes sense, right? You're pitching somewhere out where the batsman doesn't even have to play a shot, and then you get one just but the perfect line and length,
Yeah.
and that can be their undoing. So, yeah,
Got to feed that complacency.
yep, that's one way to put it.
It's the psychology of the game, Lloyd.
So it's Raul once again, number 20. Loud appeal by the keeper. Umpire not interested. It's Jaideep Reddy fishing outside the off stump. Loud appeal by the keeper. And Jaideep can add to his bowling performance by getting some runs here. It's not a lot of room to score a ton of runs. They only have to make 31 more runs to win this game. But of course, making, let's say, even 15 not out with the remaining runs left would add to his stocks as a all-round performance in this series.
Well, Jaideep, I didn't realise was such a good batsman. He's come on at number 4 or 5. And he had a very good bowling analysis.
Yeah. He's a pretty
2
good
for
batsman.
15, I think.
I tend to think of him as a bowler, but he's a pretty good batsman.
Yeah.
So yes, the American College Cricket National Championship will once again be in its usual location in Fort Lauderdale, one of the best places to spend your spring break. Not only because of Fort Lauderdale beaches and so on, there's South Beach, there's Miami. There's so much down there, both in the daytime and the nighttime. And of course, most of all, there's Broward Stadium. So we're looking to play possibly all 5 days in the stadium. Early registration will begin shortly, as we see a left-arm spinner coming on, and this is Emmanuel Citroen. And Emmanuel is just 21 years old. He's also looking to hopefully make it into the USA team at some point. And all these young cricketers, they've got the fact that the T20 World Cup is going to be played in the US. That's number one. Number two, the USA team is going to the T20 Global Qualifier with a chance to make it into the World Cup. So if you're a young cricketer right now, it's such a thrilling, exciting time, David.
It is. It's nothing. Has not been like this in many years.
Ever.
This amount of opportunity. Yeah.
So, and of course, when you perform, well, we'll get back to that. As Citroen, and this one is struck.
That's catchable.
In the air.
And it's dropped.
So at first it looked as though he settled under it and was confident he was going to take it, but then it popped out of his hands. Obviously, I guess his hands were not soft enough, and he made a valiant attempt to try to get it before it dropped to the ground, but ultimately he didn't get it. So a life there for the batsman, and Citroen once again coming in. And yeah, it's such an exciting time for a young cricketer that...
No, they've got lots of tournaments which they can ratchet up on and improve their skills. They're going to get a variety of teams they can play.
And of course, beyond the actual events that are happening, there's more professional cricket like the CPL and so on. So you can aspire to make it into a team. You know, it doesn't mean you'll get into a team, but certainly the dreams are more achievable now.
Yeah. Canadian
GT20. You know, we've had a number of players playing the Canadian GT20. Saad Zafar is an example. Nikhil Dutta. These guys have also played in the CPL. So as a young cricketer, you just got to be happy about where things are right now.
No, I think so. And the youth movement around the country has been spectacular as well, with all the families supporting their kids. A lot of them going into the professions. And cricket's become an integral part of that character training, which is the old muscular Christianity of the 1850s, but it's reformulated. Staten Island has that healthy body, healthy mind attitude. That's what O'Neill played for them when he was writing that book. Founded in 1872.
As Hardik Matra comes into the attack, Hardik is from Syracuse University up in New York, and Hardik played much of his early cricket in Hong Kong. And interacted with a lot of the players who played with a lot of the players who represented Hong Kong. And this one is struck away. It's a full toss. That'll be 4 runs. So not an auspicious start, but of course it's just the first ball. Hardik will be thinking of his comeback.
There was one Hong Kong player that played for England. He had an English mother that took him back for education there, but started his cricket in Hong Kong.
Hardik is number 3. And let's see how he counters that 4 runs. It's coming in from the far end. Here he is. Left arm. This one is on a pretty good length, but play down the wicket by the batsman, and you get a single. I must say that these new glasses are working great, David, from the point of view of helping me with the glare. Normally, my eyes would be watering like crazy right now
Oh.
because I'm looking out into the brilliant sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, I haven't. There hasn't been a stream of water coming out of my eyes.
But so far I haven't.
It's very hard to look cool and collected if you have water streaming down from your eyes.
Yeah.
And that used to happen to me quite often because glare and so on.
Oh yeah, you have that shade factor in your glass now. That helps a lot, I think.
Yeah, I had it before, but this seems to be better. Maybe it's because this also has something they call an anti-glare on it. Who knows? Who knew that there was so many other things you had to add to get the best effect? But it's more than just the change of lens. It's also an anti-glare provision.
Actually, I wore a pair of Indian team glasses, and they're like sunglasses, but they actually clarify the view of the ball when you're batting, and they're very good when you're catching the high catch. I was quite impressed.
Here comes a Hardik match. Smashes that one. At that one. And doesn't go far, and it's no run. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that they would have some degree of technology implemented in those.
Oh yeah, the eyes are so important, depth of focus and all that sort of stuff. And the Indian team are aware of it. Well, Hardik's bowling's improving as he gets a few balls in.
Here he comes, left arm. Oh, that's nice ball, but nicely played.
Finally, they got a fine leg. Dribbling a lot of runs down there earlier in the game.
Perhaps you need to get headphones to communicate with your captain on the field.
There you go. 50 for 2. Still not at 10 overs, Lloyd.
Incidentally, there was I was reading this article by a baseball guy who watched the T20 World Cup, and he highlighted, I think there were about 8 things that he said made the T20 World Cup the best baseball he's ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love how he put it, that it was the best baseball tournament he's ever seen. Now, from my perspective, where I think the game has gone with this silly everything on the leg side wide rule, it is too much like baseball. I thought it was an appropriate comment. However, he wasn't intending to be insulting to cricket, because the 8 points you wrote about were actually some of the positive things that cricket was doing that he wished baseball would do. As we get back to the action, play down the wicket there. So for instance, our instant replays in cricket, DRS system, he said, is way beyond what baseball is doing.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball is almost ancient
with
his review system.
Replays. Yeah.
And there were other things as well. It's a great article. And it's good when somebody puts a perspective on the things that cricket is doing right.
Yeah.
Because there are, of course, things it's doing wrong, but it's good when you can get a focus on what's being done right.
Good piece of batting there. He adjusted as the ball swung away from him. Yeah, the Crow brothers, of New Zealand, one of them developed the red-eye camera, which revolutionized cricket. And that was about 20 years ago.
The red-eye camera?
Mm. Yeah, it was able to choose the direction of where the ball should go. And you see that now just about every graphic you watching T20 cricket. They actually sunk quite a bit of money into it. Because he's just been fighting cancer.
Citroën is bowling quite well. and making the batsman be very circumspect.
Interesting grip on the ball.
Had to change his shot there. That slow motion replay was awesome there, showing us exactly how the bowler was really keeping the batsman guessing.
Yeah, we've seen some good cricket.
I think it's been a good effort by the Sentence 11, despite the low total, and still acting like they could do this.
No, I like the attitude and I like the fielding, apart from the catch back there. The sad thing was that catch was pretty much caught. All the hard work had been done, positioning and so on, but didn't bring the arms into the body to soften the blow a little bit.
Right.
It certainly wasn't for fear that it was dropped. It was just the last part of the catch.
Actually, it's interesting because I grew up at a time when no coaching, no video, and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So we basically just learned by instinct, right? And the little bit of cricket you saw, as we see Hardik Matra coming in.
Well, we got that one.
Pulled away for 4. Gorgeous shot. Didn't waste any time laying into that.
Yeah. From the moment he saw it.
And that's Keenal Patel, who, as I said, did really well in 2018 Nationals.
That was a lovely shot. The body language of all of the players there was kind of fun. The bowler. Has to clear the mind, come back. Quite a lot of wind out there.
Yeah. Left arm. Oh. And that's 6.
6. 10 runs, 2 balls. That's not what Sentence needs right now.
Let's watch this replay here. It comes Hardik match.
Slammed it down, set it up for beautifully because he'd already practiced that in previous shot.
Yeah, that only went for 4. So let's go at it again.
Give it a,
Yeah.
Get a little bit earlier on this one.
This will go for 6 now, and it did. So Keenal Patel.
Good example of why you have to vary your bowling a bit. Yeah, full weight, full body behind it.
Okay, let's see Hardik Matra's comeback.
Playing Hardik with an open stance.
Yeah, he has a slight turn, kind of like Shiv Chanderpaul.
Yeah.
Not as far over as Shiv Chanderpaul, but halfway there.
It's not the sideways look that a lot of batsmen do. Nice fine motor control on the bat.
So so growing up, right, catching was a problem for me personally, especially the high catches. And now thinking back, and we'll get back to that, as the Hardik match comes in left arm. Oh, drops that one short, and that'll be 4 byes. Yeah, that's
expensive right now.
That's a bad ball.
Sentence cannot afford that.
That's a bad ball, and really paid for it with 4 byes.
Expensive over.
So as I was saying, so catching, for instance, I don't recall ever looking back on it, ever pulling the hand into the body or down, so you reduce the impact of the ball on your palms. We just have to either catch it or don't catch it. And of course, that makes a big difference. Now the players, well, not only now, but for a long time, the players throw the ball up in the air. That also reduces the sting. I knew nothing about that when I was a boy.
Yeah, there's a lot more coaching than there used to be.
And this one's hit down backward point. They'll get a couple. A man running around there will stop it from being more. And going along nicely, 65 for 2. This is well within reach now. Let's see this replay.
Rough over.
That ball moved in back on the batsman, but he played it well and got a couple of runs down to the long leg position. But this will be an easy win for the Jota 11.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
And they're going to get these runs in, who knows, maybe they could hit a 6 now, so it's exactly 10 overs.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that the over there?
24 off the over so far. Got 1 ball to go.
No, well, this is his second over finishing. So the 24 has come off of 2 overs, basically. Nice recovery there. You put that one in the block hole, made it difficult for the batsman to do anything
Good
else
way to
with
close.
it.
Yeah.
So 2 overs, 24 runs Hardik. And he felt the stick from Kinal Patel, who's on 28 for off of 25 deliveries. And the required run rate is 0.6. 0.6, not 6.6, it's just 0.6.
Yes, there's a point there.
So I think it's safe to say that this will be a win for
Mr. Jota.
the Jota 11. And just a reminder what this is the American College Cricket All-Star Weekend instead of the usual USA versus Canada event. This is basically 24 American college cricket players coming together to play and being divided into 2 teams, which just for purpose of naming, we named them Jota 11, Sentence 11. Sentence, of course, being named after David Sentence, who's here with me on the commentary. He's a cricket author and historian, and lots else in and out of cricket, involved with youth cricket in Compton. And this one is struck down the wicket, the long off position. They'll get a single. David Sentence has also, of course, been with American college cricket since 2010. I'm Lloyd Jota, founder and president of American College Cricket. So those are the names applied to the 2 teams just for purposes of naming the teams. And the bowler is Ravi Vats from Pittsburgh, University of Pittsburgh. And Ravi is also the club president there. And really has a tough task now of trying to just come away with something here. Flighting the ball nicely, but that one struck well. Into the offside, they'll get a comfortable single. Batsmen feel no need to dart for a double or anything. Let's watch this replay. Flighted, batsman watching it, and hits it in the air, but safely into the cover area. So your team will no doubt regroup and have a word about what changes they can make, David.
Yeah, they just got to put more runs on the board next time around.
As simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully they're getting more used to the wicket.
I actually believe they will.
That's a
What
good way
happened
to
there?
finish it.
Yep, a 6.
Mm.
And it was by Kinal Patel. Brilliant 35 not out of 27 deliveries.
Yeah, nice little innings.
So the Jota 11 won by 8 wickets. And
Yeah, good performance.
stay tuned.
Excellent batting.
We'll be back with the second game after about an hour. So expect some more action here from Moosa Stadium. This is Lloyd Jota, founder and president of American College Cricket, with David Sentence, cricket author and historian. And of course, like I said, we'll be back in about an hour with the next match. And we'll also be playing 2 matches tomorrow. University of Texas Arlington will be playing in the 4th game. And this has been American College Cricket All-Star Series 2021. So see you later. Bye.